Hey guys, this is Hamster Chew and this is my things you need for a Syrian hamster video. Okay, I will be doing another one of these. It's just at the moment I am at home and my hamster stuff is all up at uni, but I'm going to talk and show you a few new bits and pieces which I bought for my hamster which fit the requirements. So without further ado, I'll get started. The first thing you need is a large cage. Large cage being 80 by 40 centimeters. This is the recommended RSPCA guidelines. You can buy a number of cages like the Zoo Zone 1, the Zoo Zone 2, the iMac Fantasy. If you go onto hamstercentral.com, then I'm sure you'll find plenty of hamster information there. You can also make yourself a very cheap bin cage. You get a Wilko's bin for a tenner. You get some mesh and some bolts and you cut a hole in the bin, screw it on there and you've got a cage. It's very cheap. I made mine for £12.50. Not bad for someone who's really not that great at DIY. So yeah, there's no excuse for not affording a decent sized cage. The second thing you need is decent food. Like, there are so many hamster gerbil mixes, blah 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 blah, but they're not any good because hamsters and gerbils have completely different nutritional needs. I think gerbils need 14% protein and hamsters need 19% protein. So it is very important that you get a decent food to have a happy, healthy hamster. There is only one commercial mix which caters to the needs of a hamster, and that is Harry Hamster, which I have a bag of here. See, 19 protein, 8 fibre. That's what you need for a hamster, so this is this. Or you could also go onto ratrations.com and order yourself some of Tracy Silver's mix, which I haven't tried yet, but I hear that the hamsters eat literally all of it, so none of it's wasted and it's really cheap. The postage is a bit steep, but if you get a lot of stuff from there, then it all works out at quite cheap. For example, I got a bag of 100 grams of banana chips for 56p. That's not bad, is it? It's alright. So you need a decent hamster food. The next thing you need is a food bowl and a water bowl, which is pretty basic. You need a heavy-ish hamster bowl because they might tip it over or knock it over or something. You don't want that. Well, it doesn't really matter, but I prefer it to be heavy in their cage. And the water bottle has to be big enough and they have to be able to reach it. The other alternative to feeding is to scatter the mix all over the cage, but I feel that's messy, so I always put it in a bowl and maybe hide a few bits and pieces around, which I put there, not just scatter it around. So yeah. The next thing is a house, or a hidey hole. For example, this. Zora doesn't have one of these because she prefers to open nest, so that's fine. But you have to give them the option to have something to sleep in because it makes them feel safe, and they've just got to have loads of things they can hide in. You don't need to buy one. You can just get a reasonable size cardboard box from Crackers or something like that. Stick that in their cage. They'll be happy enough sleeping in there. It's fine. You don't have to pay a tenner on a Thistle house or something. Thistle's cottage or something. Okay. Number 5. You have to put things in their cage to keep them entertained. They get very bored. Imagine being in your bedroom with all of the fun stuff, nothing to do in your room. You wouldn't be very happy, and it's the same for a hamster. So make sure you give them plenty of stuff to do, where that's chewing wood, seed bars. I've bought my hamster this little rolly egg thingy, and I've also got some ping pong balls for mine, so they have different things to do. It's not just eat, poop, sleep, eat, poop, sleep, eat, poop, sleep, and only get to play when they're out of their cage. So the next thing you need is substrate. There are lots of different types. I'm not gonna explain them all. You can use wood shavings, like hemp bedding. There's so much, as long as you have something in the cage so that you can absorb the urine and they can dig and do whatever hamsters do in it. That's fine. Number 7, you need bedding material. It's so they can nest, make their own nest, make themselves comfortable. It's like pretty much like a duvet, but they make it themselves, and they're happy if they have lots of it, so you need that. Something to chew on, which goes under the things to do as well. For example, I get these seed bars for my hamster to chew on. She doesn't really like wood chews or anything like that, so I get her seed bars and she loves them, so that's good. You need a decent sized wheel. I'm not kidding. For a Syrian hamster, when they're younger, they don't need one as big, but when they're fully grown, they need one. It's about this size. Okay? This one goes flat so she can run on it, but you need one this size, so you have to think out your cage properly, because otherwise you won't be able to fit one of these in, and they need it. I know people think that some people think that hamsters don't need wheels, but they really do. They need exercise. They like running, like, a lot. So it's unfair if they can't run or anything, because they're confined in the cage. They can't really run that much in there. So, and then the last thing I think is a decent sized exercise ball. You get the standard size ones, but then sometimes if you get a bigger hamster, then they're going to need a rat ball, and that's about this big. They need a big ball, otherwise they bend their back. Same with wheels, they'll bend their back, and it's not very good for them. So, yeah. Also, one thing I want to add, if you want a hamster, don't just be like, hey, that's a hamster, it's cute in the pet shop, and then buy it on a whim. I mean, if you've already owned hamsters before and you know properly how to look after them, then yeah, it's fine. And you want one, that's fine. But don't, get one and be like, oh, I really want this hamster, and then think about it for 2 days, and then go and get a hamster, and then get bored with it within a week, because it's not fair, is it? No, it's just not fair. It's just ridiculous. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please, like, whatever. If you have any requests or anything, then leave me a comment or message me. So, yeah. Thanks. Bye.